So as you all know, the United Nations Climate Change Conference started today in Copenhagen with what Yvo de Boer, the top UN climate change official, called unprecedented political momentum for a deal. And world leaders are calling for an agreement that offers serious emission limitation goals, one that would provide significant financial and technological support to developing countries, says Yvo de Boer. De Boer called on negotiators to focus on solid and practical proposals that will unleash prompt action on mitigation, adaptation, finance, technology, reducing emissions from deforestation in developing countries, and capacity building. He also spoke about the 3 layers of action that governments needed to agree to by the end of the conference. Those are fast and effective implementation of immediate action on climate change, ambitious commitments to cut and limit emissions, and a long-term shared vision on a low-emission future for all. So for his part, the chair of the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, Rajendra Pachauri, has stressed that the evidence is now overwhelming that the world would benefit greatly from early action, and that delay would only lead to costs in economic and human terms that would become progressively high. So negotiators now have 6 days to conclude their work before the ministerial high-level segment, which will start on the 16th of December. And then ministers will have 2 days to take any unresolved issues forward before more than 100 world leaders arrive on the 17th of December. And the conference is expected to close on the 18th. Many more than 15,000 participants, including government delegates and representatives from business and industry, environmental organizations and research institutions, are attending this 2-week gathering. And also, the Secretary General is expected to make some brief remarks on climate change this afternoon after his meeting with the French Foreign Minister Bernard Kouchner. And as for the Secretary General's own travel plans, we can now confirm to you that he will be in Copenhagen next week to attend the high-level segment and the summit of the United Nations Climate Change Conference session, and also the summit. The high-level segment begins on Tuesday afternoon, and as I think you already know, the Secretary General is scheduled to hold a press conference next Monday at 11 a.m. here at the UN headquarters in advance of his departure for Copenhagen. The Secretary General is expecting a robust agreement at Copenhagen that will be effective immediately and include specific commitments on mitigation, adaptation, finance, and technology. He says Copenhagen can and must be the turning point in the world's efforts to prevent runaway climate change and usher in a new era of green growth for all. And so from all corners of the globe, we are seeing unprecedented momentum for a deal. For example, more than 100 heads of state and government, including President Obama and Premier Wen Jiabao, have said they will go to Copenhagen to provide their support for a global agreement. And never have so many different nations of all size and economic status made so many firm pledges together. As the Secretary General says, we must seize this moment and continue pushing for still higher ambition. The secret is the time for action is now, and for results. And just another topic to do with climate change, the UN Environment Programme says that countries meeting in Copenhagen may be closer than some observers realize to agreeing the emission cuts required to give the world a reasonable chance of avoiding global warming of more than 2%. In an analysis of national proposals for annual emission reductions launched today, the UNEP says that the gap between the countries' strongest proposed cuts and what is needed may be only a few billion tons of greenhouse gases.